But JJ Watt's a free agent. Completely, he can go wherever the heck he wants. And he's been teasing a lot of places. I'm gonna bring some places up. Why don't you go ahead and tell me the likelihood of it? Packers.
Very likely. It's likely. It's likely. I wouldn't say very likely, but it's likely. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. For the Packers, I mean, I can get more into
Okay.
it later because
Yeah.
I had something to say also as well, but I like rather
Yeah.
just go on.
Okay. I'm gonna give the Packers. I'd say it's pretty likely as well. Steelers.
At the moment, I would say it seems quite likely. Yeah.
I'm actually gonna say it's not likely. I think the Steelers are. I think they're fine with their line. They don't really need to add JJ Watt to it. I think they're okay with it. It would be cool to see him team up with his brothers, but you know, I'm not exactly sure how many minutes he'd end up getting. Uh, Browns.
I know there was one period of time they said he was supposedly seriously considering going to the Browns, but I don't see it necessarily happening. Actually, I think that's actually not very likely.
I think it's somewhat likely. I think it's somewhat feasible. But I don't think it's going to happen. If you forced me to say an answer, I'd say, nah, it's probably not going to happen. The Bills.
Bills. There was mutual interest between the Bills and Watt, but
Bills
I
got a
don't
lot of
know
people to
how.
pay.
Yeah, they have a lot of people to pay. I would say just due to that, I would say they're probably like in the middle of likely and unlikely. It's just down the middle. I'm not sure on that one.
I'm gonna say it's unlikely. I do believe that the Bills GM said something along the lines of they're really looking to build through the draft this year because they don't have as much money to go out and get big free agents. So unless JJ Watt takes a big pay cut, I don't really see him ending up there. And let's go Bears.
I said that is very unlikely. I do not see that happening whatsoever.
I kind of put this in the same breath as the Browns. I'd say it's somewhat likely. I don't see it, happening, but if it happened, I wouldn't be totally shocked. And the last team I have on here is the Buccaneers.
They would have to pull out some crazy tricks to get Watt. They have a lot of people to pay as well. A lot of people are due for big time paydays as well. So, just thinking about Chris Godwin off the top of my head, you can Barrett. I think it was also is it Devin White or was it
Yeah.
Levante David? I think it was Levante David who was also
Both
due
of the
for a big
linebackers
contract.
are up to.
Yeah, so I highly doubt Watt go to the Bucks.
Uh, I think it's I think it's decently likely. I think it's a good chance. If he does go to the Bucks, he obviously would have to take a pay cut. But at the same time, if he views that as like this could get me a ring, maybe that incentivizes him to take a pay cut. Maybe he grabs a 1 year deal and just jumps on the Bucks. Uh, I I think I could see it happening. Oh, I do also want to bring up. I've heard some people say the Chiefs. I really don't think so. I mean, they really have enough money to even? Once again, he'd have to take a massive pay cut. He'd obviously help their line a bunch, but like, would they even have enough to really entice him to stay? I don't know.
No, I don't see the Chiefs either, to be honest. I'm surprised I didn't bring up the Titans. The Titans were a team that were also interested in Watt, but I don't see Watt going there. I feel like Watt probably wants to go to a more sure contender. So I would feel like they would probably be out of the mix due to that fact alone.
Yeah, I agree. And you said you had some thoughts about the Packers and all that. Why don't you go ahead and
Yeah,
expand?
before that, I want to just touch on some other people trying to recruit Watt that I thought was quite entertaining. Dexter Lawrence from the Cowboys. He wanted Watt to come over to the Cowboys. I don't see that happening at all. And I don't know if you saw on Instagram, but DeAndre Hopkins posted a picture, like yeah, him and Watt in the Arizona Cardinals uniform together. That was kind of funny. Don't see that happening anytime soon, but I thought that was kind of entertaining to say the least. But for me, I think that the Packers are the most likely to happen because if you watch the video, if you just know anything about JJ Watt in general, JJ Watt played college ball over at the University of Wisconsin. He has a lot of ties within Wisconsin because he was born in Wisconsin. Obviously, he was raised in Wisconsin. If you watch the video, as I was saying earlier, he was decked out in Wisconsin gear. And for me, it just kind of felt like he was ready to go home. And, Green Bay is a contender, which that's what he wants to play for at the moment. Green Bay is in Wisconsin, which is his home. The team can definitely use another edge rusher. And if you didn't notice, they are breaking up, not breaking up, but they are making cap space in general. I don't know if you've been
Yeah.
monitoring the moves or not. Um, like David Beckery, I think he reconstructed his bonus of his contract to create some cap space. They haven't signed back Aaron Jones, which will be a lot of cap space. So I'm thinking maybe the kid could be leaving that cap space open to make potential move at Watt. That's how I kind of have seen it as of recent. Now, is getting a player like JJ Watt their biggest need? No, it's not. I think they can definitely use more help in the safety position or just in the secondary in general. But it's just how I think about Washington. You have to strengthen your strengths. You have to go with the best option to help out the best part of your defense to make it easier for the other parts of your defense. With Washington, they drafted Chase Young. That helped out the front line, their defensive front line, and it made you forget. Sometimes it made you forget watching the games how rough their secondary could be at times. Obviously, they got exposed in the Buccaneers game in the playoffs, of course, but throughout the season, that front line was the thing everyone kept talking about for Washington. It made you just, it kind of put their secondary play in the back of your head. So I'm thinking, like, as bad as or as rough as their secondary was in the playoffs for the Packers, maybe adding another edge rusher could possibly help take some pressure off of the secondary. So that's how I kind of see it with Green Bay. That's why I think it could be likely. But we'll have to see, honestly, JJ Watt. Any opinion on that part?
Yeah, I have noticed they've been making a lot of cap room. At first, I thought it was because maybe they want to sign maybe an Allen Robinson or something to help with the receiving core. But you're right. I think JJ Watt would be. I think he'd be a good fit. You're right. They do need safety help. They do need secondary help for sure. But the more people you put on the line, the easier it is on the guys in the secondary. So yeah, in my opinion, I think his most likely destination is Green Bay, but I wouldn't be surprised at any of the names that, or any of the teams I just named. And just about every team could really use JJ Watt. Let's be real. These are just kind of the teams that are looking to try and contend that JJ Watt might think, hey, I could push this team over. Besides the Bears, that is.
Yeah.